things that can help us to live a creative advantage. How can we still be creative? How can we take advantage of creativity in running our organization? Knowing that creativity, according to Bloom, is the highest level of knowledge. You remember in the Bloom taxonomy, knowing that creativity set our people apart, knowing that we are all creators by process of knowing what creativity means, bringing things into existence, bringing something to become new. So organizations continue to reinvent themselves. You remember, one of the ways that you create is by inventing. You remember the taxonomy again? To invent, to find, to discover, to bring to implement. Now, one of the things at the beginning that we discussed, which is that to be creative, these things must be on brand. One of it is that you can't be creative when you are rigid, when you are not adaptable, when you are not agile, when you are not ready to change. So adaptability in leadership is the ability of the leader to be flexible. Adaptability is the ability of the leader to be flexible and responsible to the change in the environment. And to be flexible and responsive to the changes in the environment. It is about more than just reacting to change, but also proactively anticipating the change and preparing that organization to pivot quickly and efficiently into the change mantra. You get what I mean? I said the adaptability is more than just reacting to change, but it is proactive anticipation and preparing the organization to quickly fall or fit into the change and to do it efficiently. So adaptable leaders are very few in life. But adaptable leaders can respond effectively to change. They can seize opportunities and they can overcome challenges. Adaptability is about being flexible and being changes to the environment. A leader who is adaptable can quickly adjust to new situations. It can easily change to adapt to changing environment, making necessary changes to achieve the goal. Why every time small increase in Nigeria brings about increase in value of increase in goods and services is because Nigerians are not so good in adapting to managing costs. If a Nigerian manager or leader see that fuel at 1 naira, he increase everything and is not thinking of how can I adapt and make changes on my cost so that it does not result to change in price. But electorally, he transferred that increase in price into the increase in his own cost. Yes. Instead of thinking, how can I be adaptable? That's why I said that adaptable leaders are very few. Our people are not good in adapting to cost. They are not good in adapting on how do I manage this thing so that I don't transfer this change, increase to entire price of this product. Let me bear this increase myself by working on other aspects of this good instead of transferring it. What we normally do is literal transfer of any increase. Literal transfer of any increase, and that is too bad. Some ways adaptable leaders can demonstrate their skill in adapting to things. Number one, adaptable leaders can demonstrate their skill by learning to embrace change. They should see challenges as opportunities to grow. They're supposed to see increase in fuel price as opportunity to look for how to adjust our processes, our system, at least to some extent, before thinking of what can be added. But they don't do it, they transfer it direct. They can practice this by welcoming new experiences regularly and taking more risk. Number 2 way, the second one is they can foster a culture of innovation, making something new, making old things new, or making existing things new, or taking existing things to a new environment. These are what we call innovation. Either of these three. Adaptable leaders encourage team members to explore new ideas. In fact, to make mistakes. If in course of exploring they make a mistake, they are encouraged. They take calculated risk. They challenge the status quo. Adaptable leaders do this. This approach leads them to greater creativity and the development of innovative solutions. This is how adaptable leaders foster culture of innovation. Another way adaptable leaders foster the culture of innovation is to be open to new ideas. They welcome every ideas. They don't know it all. If a leader, if a manager, if an administrator know it all, that is dangerous. So they are open to new ideas, new suggestions, new recommendations, new researches, new excuse me sir, I have an idea. They are should open to it, or they should be open to it. That kind of leaders are adaptable in nature. He can adapt to things by being open to new ideas. Another one is practicing active listening. One way to communicate is to even listen. In fact, one of the greatest ways to communicate is listening. Even when it seems as if it is on the receiving side, when you are a good listener, it's a good communication virtue. Active listening involves not only hearing, but others, but it's not only about hearing what others are saying, but also understanding their concern. When you listen to people, you get the message of what their concern and their priorities and what is behind what they are saying. In other words, ability to be a very good listener, an active one, not a passive one, solves so much problem. It makes you to be a creative problem solver, because even at that, every problem might find its solution in the narration of the problem. Every problem can find its solution in the narration of that problem. When the person is narrating it, if you are smart enough, you can pick the solution from it. So the solutions of problems are not far from. The solutions of problems are not far from the narration that go with it. So these 4 elements are very important. Some ways that adaptable leaders can demonstrate their skill. And I said they should embrace change. They should foster the culture of innovation. They should be open to new ideas, and they should not be I know it all. They should also practice active listening, absorbed listening. That is what it is, a deep listening skill. Now let's look at importance of adaptability in leadership, in successful leadership. Why is adaptability important in leadership? Why is it important in leading? Why is adaptability important in leading people, in leading group, in leading teams? Now I said today's leaders need to be able to adapt quickly to new situations and circumstances. The changes that have occurred in our world in the last 20 years have not occurred in the whole world for over 2,000 years. 2,000 years of existence, what have just taken place in the last 20 years has never taken place in 2,000 years. And the point is not that there are changes, but the more important point is that the rate of the changes are becoming alarmingly critical. And I wrote a book on that area. That for people to succeed now, in this time we are living, those people must understand the peculiarities of the time they are living. Because things have not just changed, that the rate of change is becoming something of a great concern. So people need to understand peculiarities. There used to be a time when people grow at workplace by showing experience. Workplace are not patient with experience. Any person that throws in a bigger degree displaces the other. Are you getting it? Any person that from a distance throw up a bigger degree displaces the other. Even when he doesn't know that. Even when he doesn't know that. I've seen in a department a person throwing in a PhD degree who cannot use Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, but just he throw in the PhD degree, he displaces the other. Why? It is the peculiarity of the time we are living. The bigger the degree, the more displacing capacity you have over those who do not have it. And what does that entail? Go for growth. So you are not going for it, not necessarily for the knowledge, but to avoid insults. Are you getting the understanding of the peculiarity of the time? The stupidity of the time. One writer said that to succeed in the time like this, you need to be unreasonable. And reasonable people do not succeed in a time like this. And he defined what unreasonable means. He said that reasonable people do what others do. Unreasonable people do what others do. Reasonable people follow others. Unreasonable people do what they do and others follow them. They don't do what others do, but they do what they do and others follow them. And that is the truth.
They do whatever they want to do.
And others follow them. And that's why we see in our world today we talk about follow, like, share. Follow, like, share. Are you getting it? So it is about everybody is looking for people to follow him. The more people follow you, the more you are becoming reasonable, unreasonable, and the more you are succeeding more than those who are reasonable. And I can give you thousands of examples on that. If you come now and start doing what any other person is doing, you are on their way. But if you can create anything unique, if you can create anything that is even unreasonable, people start. Facebook is doing something unreasonable, and the world is gathering there. Are you getting it? He came up with a concept that he can put a picture of people on the internet, and people will be watching it. And he can put a video, and people will be watching it. And that thing started as a mundane class assignment that made him to resign from school. He didn't continue. And today, I don't know whether they say, as of this week, they are rating him the third richest man in the world. People just spend their time pressing. Enter bus today, a commercial bus, you see that half of the people they are pressing. If they are all guests, all of them are all pressing for. What are they pressing? Hey, see my friend, sharing faces. Now, when you take the eye of reasonability and look at it, it becomes unreasonable. But somebody is making money. Because every click you make, money is going into somebody's account. And the man himself said that he doesn't visit Facebook up to more than 3 times a week. But there are people who stay there from morning till night for 7 days. So unreasonable people are the people ruling the world. Unreasonable people are even the people who win election. A man called Chicopolo, Carlo Chicopolo, he wrote a research work. He said that in every society, it is divided into 4 segments. That in these 4 segments, that is, if you are familiar with what they call graph, are you getting it? A graph paper. In graph paper, your left-hand side, the upper right-hand side is called x-axis and y-axis, positive, positive. Then your left side, upper, is called minus x, positive y. Down is minus s and minus y. Down that is on the right and the lower side is minus y but positive x. So Chicopolo said that those that fall into s plus s and plus y are called intelligent group. That they are less than 3% of the whole world population. Less than 3.
Less than
3. Wow. That those who are on the left side of the x-axis, that is where x is minus, and y is plus, that those people are those who benefit the benefactor, who benefit somebody, but they themselves don't benefit. So they benefit their boss, they benefit their employee, they benefit somebody to become president, to become governor, to become anything. They benefit somebody to become head, but they don't benefit anything on themselves. They call those people ignorant fools. Ignorant fools. They are fools, they don't benefit themselves, and they are ignorant. Then there are those who fall under those people, that is minus x and minus y. They said those people don't benefit themselves. At the same time, they don't benefit any person. And they constitute over 40% of world population. And the ignorant fools, I didn't remember, they also as much as 40% of world population. Then they say that below the intelligent group, that is those that are on minus y and plus x axis, down, that those people benefit themselves, but they don't benefit others. And they call those people bandits. And he went on in that research and said that the people that rule the world are the bandits. That they are the people who benefit themselves, but they don't benefit others. That they win election by making use of the ignorant fools. And these people that are minus, which he calls stupid idiots. That they win election using the stupid idiots and the ignorant fools to accumulate votes against the intelligent group that are less than 3% and win the election. And that is why for 80% of world societies, bandits rule. And that the assignment here is to learn how to dislodge power from the bandits for any society that wants to be reformed. And how do you do that? Embark on training and education to these ignorant fools and the stupid idiots to turn their mind to reasoning. And if they can achieve changing them, that these ignorant fools and the stupid idiots can now be able to vote the intelligent person. Very few countries in the world have been able to achieve it, but majority of the world are ruled by bandits. Are you getting the majority of the world population are ruled by bandits? Who are these bandits? People who favor themselves without favoring others. And that's, in fact, Nigeria, all of them, everywhere is bandits. People who favor themselves without favoring others. Just around there is a roundabout that was a market. Somebody took it as a personal thing and just away. One man interest overriding entire society interest. and that one man sleep on one pillow, one phone.
Drive one.
Then drive one car, and then a million people interest who will sleep on million phones, million pillows, million cars are wasted, and then they are running around the streets carrying their goods in their hands. That's bandits. Now, adaptability is this level important. Today's leaders need to be able to adapt quickly to new situations and circumstances. And one way they will do that is to master what we call quick pivots. Mastering quick pivots. I took time to explain it there. The other way is mastering quick pivots is about adaptability. It's about being flexible and responsive to change in the business environment. A leader who is adaptable can quickly adjust to new situations and changing circumstances. And I have said it that why prices keep rising and rising in Nigeria is because those managing businesses in Nigeria don't think of ways to adjust internally. They only respond to external stimuli. They don't adjust internally. They don't do cost management. They don't know how to manage costs. They are running the same inefficiency system. Then the second one is practicing adaptive change management. I say adaptive change management is management approach to focus on making quick and incremental changes in response to new challenges. When new challenges come, organizations are supposed to go to drawing board and think of how to make the new changes to the challenges. And oftentimes our people don't do it. That is what Nigerians used to say. They said that in the 70s, the dollar was $1 to 1 naira, this and that. And that the people that we are managing Nigerian business at that time was better. I tell them it's not true. Nigeria have not for one day managed their destiny. The truth of what was happening in those days is that the influx of goods and services into Nigeria was overwhelming. Because the whole of African 54 countries, Nigeria was the only country that Oyibo can come and stay. So because of that, Oyibo brought so much into the country, not minding anything. So in spite of our not planning ourselves, Oyibo was planning for us, doing things for us. I told you that my biology teacher was an Indian. My chemistry lecturer was an Indian. Two of them were professor teaching me in secondary school. My physics teacher in the university was a Jamaican, a professor. And you see, how did we come down to where we are now? You hardly can see any Oyibo teaching in any Nigerian university unless Atiku American University. Unless that one. None of them can be in University of Nigeria. None of them can be in Uniben. None of them can be in Uniport. What has caused all this problem? I had classmates that we are Oyibos. You can't get a foreigner schooling in Nigerian university. A full-time foreigner. So the question comes in, was Nigeria managing the economy that time better? No. It was the influence of service. Why? South Africa was under appetite. Nelson Mandela was in prison. The release of Nelson Mandela in 1991 and South Africa having independence was Nigerian undoing. By the time when South Africa got independence, Oyibo now started looking for another landing space. They discovered that South Africa is a better place to set up. Whenever they come into Africa, they now can set up there and now think of which other African country can we go. Is it Kenya? Is it Egypt? Is it Morocco? Before, that was what they were doing in Lagos. Because they will come in Lagos and settle and think of where else to go, they now have to establish in Nigeria. That is why we have Bata, Dayland, Berek, all those companies.
Okay.
That is why we have them. This is Oyibo coming in to look for where to stay and establish their business. Now, when South Africa got independence, they visited here and they discovered you can't compare debt and slave. That South Africa is like Europe.
Okay.
They discovered that South Africa is in fact Europe in Africa. the name Africa attached to it is even an insult. And all of them, in the space of 5 years, moved their base to South Africa. And from South Africa now begin to ask, which other zoo can we go to? Which other place can we go to? And now Nigeria begin to experience the effects of losing being the capital of Africa. We have never for one day planned. Who would have planned? Is it Gowan? Is it the military head of state? Is it Bota? Who? No, we have not. But the issue is that the circumstance of a sick man was helping us. The circumstance that South Africa was in apartheid regime was our advantage. It was helping us to think that we are doing well. But when they got independence, we failed to go to drawing board. This is what I am saying. Practicing adaptive change management. We didn't practice how to handle the change management that has come to Africa. So how do we handle the change management? And another thing that hit us bad was the broken wall of the coming of internet. The coming of internet made nations not to have boundaries. You can be here and do business in Rome. Somebody in Rome can be operating a system that is in here. So what is the need of employing people across? What is the need? Another force was broken down of Berlin Wall, which was before dividing the whole nations into what? Either those supporting America and those not supporting. Now, no nation is supporting each other. Nations are mixed together. Because of non-supporting, the ads, the grants Nigeria were getting from countries like US and Britain was stopped. So our country is no longer living on any grants. Instead, they were being the people that we have been stolen from. That's why we are here. We have never planned for one day. We have never planned, we have never managed change. So that is why things are rising. The third thing is flexibility. The other one is pushing past ambiguity. Then developing adaptability through training. One of the most important ones is to impact on training. Develop your people's capacity on adaptability through training. Training is adaptability training is a complete course. Very, very important. Because they run it together with diversity. Develop capacity through leadership training, using coaching, and I've said so much on these things, and most of them you can read it off in my website.
Yes.
I have a website where I discuss these things. Most of these things are in my website. You can go there and read and get that. I'll also give you the website address. Then cultivating adaptability and flexibility culture is also a culture that can be introduced in your organization. Then I think we can stop here so that we do your sitting and go and see baby where you drop somewhere. Okay.